I recently experienced something that still gives me chills every time I think about it. I had been living in my duplex for about 5 months, working from home, mostly during the night. My neighborhood tends to be quite noisy during the day, so I've gotten used to sleeping with a loud fan and earbuds to drown out the noise. It's fair to say that I rarely noticed anything unusual around me. For the first few months, my neighbors on the other side of my bedroom wall were a nightmare. They would constantly argue, yell, throw things, and blast loud music. It got so bad that I eventually moved out of my bedroom and started sleeping in the living room. Despite the change, I could still hear them, so the fan and earbuds became a permanent part of my routine. One day, I learned that my noisy neighbors had been evicted. Finally, a sense of peace settled over my home. But soon, I began hearing strange noises, bumps and bangs coming from above me. I initially blamed it on the poor construction of the duplex. The walls and floors weren't well insulated, and I thought the new neighbors were just being careless. But, unlike my previous neighbors, the new ones were relatively quiet, and the noises didn't seem to match their daily activities. After moving back into my bedroom, the noises only got worse. One night, I heard a particularly loud bang, and it didn't stop. I took out my earbuds, turned off the fan, and listened carefully. That's when I heard distinct footsteps, human footsteps, moving above me, heading toward the garage. In a moment of panic, I grabbed the nearest object I could find, a hammer, and slowly approached the door that leads from my laundry room to the garage. Every step was agonizingly slow, my mind racing with worst-case scenarios. Suddenly, I heard a loud crash, and the back door to the garage flew open. I froze, standing there with my hammer barely breathing, until I heard my backyard fence jangle. Whoever or whatever it was had fled. It took me several minutes to gather the courage to enter the garage. What I found there was even more disturbing. Strewn across the floor was what looked like a makeshift survival kit, a dog bed, a plastic bag stuffed with cotton that looked like a pillow, boxes that may have once contained canned food, a single slipper, some old papers, and a tub filled with cigarette butts and some unidentified liquid. I was horrified. Someone had been living up there right above me for who knows how long. I called the police, who arrived quickly and took a brief report. They looked around the garage and backyard but didn't go up into the attic or take any of the items for evidence. I had hoped they'd look for fingerprints or DNA, but they seemed disinterested. They told me this sort of thing happens more often than I'd like to think, advised me to lock my doors, and promised to patrol the neighborhood more frequently. I spent the rest of the night wide awake, staring at the ceiling, knowing that whoever had been hiding in my attic had been there for months, listening to me, knowing my schedule, and hiding in the shadows. It's been weeks since that night, but I still feel a constant unease. I never found out who that person was or how they managed to live above me without being noticed. Every creak and bang in my home puts me on edge, and I don't think I'll ever fully recover from the sense of violation and fear that experience left behind.